2025. This is going to be one of the best Halloweens of my life. I'm up here with two people I really respect. Eric Jones, he's the world record holder for carving the largest pumpkin.
Yes.
The largest thing.
Largest pumpkin ever grown, right.
World record holder. And he does amazing work, Eric. They spent over 30 hours and a team of almost 5 people carving this pumpkin and doing amazing scenes. We had it here in Hollywood, right? So we wanted to do an LA theme, and talking to Eric and team, they're like, we want to do LA, we want to do Hollywood themed and tie in all those great, different Halloween stickers up here. I love the witch in the back, proving up the cane.
Yes, absolutely.
It's really great. And Emmett Andrusz, who's a grower with his dad, Scott, in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, grew this pumpkin.
So New York.
Oh, New York. And literally grew this pumpkin for 110 days. Is that right?
110 days, and it gets this big in 110 days.
Amazing, right? It's the second biggest pumpkin in the United States. We also this year got the biggest pumpkin in the United States is actually in Times Square right now. And it was there because it is a New York State record. And so we figured it should go there. And people said, hey, why giant pumpkins? Why giant jack-o'-lanterns? And for me, I love Halloween. I love festivities. And obviously, jack-o'-lanterns have a lot to do with, Halloween joy, carving as a kid. And I started watching things on like Food Network, The Greatest Pumpkins. And I started looking on social media, the internet, and these amazing big pumpkins. And so I'm like, look, I want to get a big pumpkin. I want to get one and do it. So I started reaching out to the community. And look, for years, I started getting top 5 pumpkins. I was just thrilled with it. Really wanted to do the biggest pumpkins in our country. And last year we got it, right? And so we did. We carved it. We had it up in Calabasas. And everybody got to enjoy it. And then this year, we ended up with number 1 and number 2 in the USA, which is amazing. And, people said, hey, why LA? Why New York? And for me, it's just being here in Hollywood and in Times Square, right? The footfall, like here, over like 100,000 people walk by during a day, and everybody gets to enjoy it. These amazing pumpkins, it should be where everybody gets to enjoy it and see it. Because, like, pumpkins, like, to me, it's like inspiring. It's magical. And it's like, I want kids to walk by and say, hey, if somebody can learn to grow a pumpkin, that's 2,518 pounds, right? And there's a lot of discipline that goes to be able to do this, a lot of skill, a lot of love that goes into it. And then I want people to think, kids to go like, hey, there's also carvers that learn how to carve pumpkins, made their own tools to be able to do these amazing designs on this pumpkin. So to me, it's just people get to enjoy it and see it. There's some really magical things in this world. And look, I want everybody to have a happy Halloween. So anyway, Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit about the carving process?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been such a privilege for me to work with canes. This is my second year. And, when all the flooding happened in Texas, Canes stepped up. And I've got some friends in Kerr County. I was just so impressed with the way Canes handled it. They stepped up and helped them out. And I just thought, this is a company I want to work with. They're very philanthropic. They're very community-oriented. And this is fun because I had so many people this week hundreds of people stop and say, first of all, they say, is it real? Of course. And they're like, it's so beautifully organic in this kind of concrete jungle. I'm like, yeah, that's what's so cool about it. And we had great conversation with so many different people here. But this is about 30 hours of carving with my team and I, with 6 different carvers on site here. Half of them now are in New York working on that one. But we used probably 8 or 10 different vegetables, gourds, potatoes, beets, all sorts squash incorporated with this design. All things Canes, all things Hollywood, and all things like.
Yeah, it turned out right. That's what I think. Carving's amazing. And then Emmett, you and your dad Scott grew this pumpkin. I come to New York. Why don't you tell us a little about the growing process and then just the sheer mass of this pumpkin?
Well, they're very special. You have to give them a lot of love and all your attention, every bit of it, to grow them, especially top-notch levels like this, because it's competition, everybody's competing. And to reiterate what Eric said, it's just unbelievable effort here right now, and that everybody can enjoy this pumpkin. It's so rewarding. All my efforts are rewarded here.
Yeah, it's special because you want people to see it, right? You don't just keep it at your house and do that in this neighborhood. You want it to get out where people see it, which I think is wonderful. The more people see it, the more magical, right?
I couldn't stare at it enough.
This pumpkin is it like a 6-inch walls? You would imagine
more, probably around 12, 14.
Yeah.
Maybe perhaps thicker in some spots.
And how many seeds do you think will be in this pumpkin?
0 to 1,000. You never know.
But these pumpkins are like, the seeds are like this big, like 1,000. That's the whole key, is the seeds, right? Keep growing bigger pumpkins. You said you want to go for 3,000 pounds next year, right?
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, break the barrier. 3,000. We're going to do it next year. We'll have this pumpkin here to celebrate again.
I'm in.
Well, tell your dad, Scott. We really appreciate it. Thanks for everybody to come out. We hope everybody's going to enjoy this Halloween, and everybody gets to come out here. It'll be out here through Halloween. So if you're at home, you see this, come out to Hollywood, come check out this pumpkin. I really love all holidays, and Halloween's just special in its own right. Dressing up for Halloween, carving pumpkins, and baking pumpkin seeds, and just really enjoying the holiday. It kind of grows every year with that. My love of pumpkins started to grow, and so for me, it's just one of these dreams that I had to be able to get with people like this and create something and be a part of something that's I know the discipline that goes through this, right? Like literally the growing process. I understand now. I understand pumpkins and growing them. It is thousands of hours of work and love and care to be able to grow a pumpkin this big. It's burying vines and cutting off other pumpkins to keep that energy going through there. For me, nostalgia is, like you always watch the Charlie Brown, the Great Pumpkin, and always was fascinating. Louisiana don't have any pumpkin patches because it's hot down there, but in places where these guys are from, they can actually have the pumpkin patches. So to me, this is the Great Pumpkin, and we get to share it.
It's fantastic. To kind of add on to what Todd said, when we were kids, as artists and carvers, we're always looking for the biggest pumpkin in the pumpkin patch. Yeah. We're still looking for the biggest pumpkin in the pumpkin patch. So whenever you have an opportunity like this to carve the biggest in the world and team up with an amazing company like Cain's, it's a privilege. If you talk to any professional pumpkin carver, we kind of all say the same thing. We're the world's biggest 9-year-olds. Our profession is being a big kid, and we're good at it. And to be on this stage with a great company like this, it's a privilege.
60, 70 pounds a day growing their baskets. You can see them growing.
We want to spread it around. So, next year, and I like to go to cities with large populations, so that means more people get to see it, and cities and tourists. So, right, the more people get to see it, the better it is, right? So maybe it's Chicago next year, maybe it's Philly, maybe it's Dallas or Houston. We'll have to see.
For me, my dad, I grew up under these pumpkin leaf stories, beyond big, and it took me all the way to here. I spent a lot of my young adult life growing giant pumpkins. It is what it is. It's just growing giant pumpkins. But I'm in LA, I'm here, and this is just awesome. So it took me a long way. It's all because of my dad.
To add to that, I would say that, as an artist, you're an artist first, and then you pick your medium, right? So I'm a snow sculptor, a sand sculptor, and a pumpkin carver. I like things that melt, rot, and wash away. That's what I do. Everything's kind of temporary. So to have a canvas like this, we really see this as a blank canvas. We were so excited when we got here and saw this beautiful pumpkin. He did a great job growing it. And just what a great process. I mean, it's such a privilege.
He's like a quarter can of pumpkins, so somewhere around 10,000 pies. But I'm not a good cook.
I was going to say at least 20. So I'm on the golf hour.
How many pumpkin pies?
We should just do one giant big pumpkin pie. The biggest pumpkin pie ever.
That's a great idea for next year.
Guinness record.
I love it.
It's here in the middle of the night, misting it with water. It's very arid and dry, as you know, out here. So in New York, it's very humid, a lot of moisture in here. We don't have to worry about it as much. But when you start to separate and have pieces glued on, they dry out quickly. So you got to keep them moist and wet. We just wanted it looking sharp this morning for everything. So constantly keeping it watered and staying up on it because it just dries up really, really quickly. It gets high pressure. I actually really enjoy engaging with people when they're coming around to see the pumpkin. They ask a lot of the same questions. The first one's always, is it real? And we're like, yeah, if it wasn't real, it probably wouldn't be shaped like this. But people are amazed that this thing is so, and they ask just great questions. They set their kids up on the rail. The kids ask questions, and they want to touch a pumpkin seed. It's just a really great engagement with the public. And that's a big part of it. That's a really big part of it, engaging with people and answering their questions, especially kids. Because when they see me as a professional pumpkin carver, every little kid wants to be a professional pumpkin carver. So it's really fun to have that conversation.
Figure that's all.
Okay.
Yep.
And do you have any special recipes that you'd like to do with the seed? I didn't know sometimes. Like serve it. You do anything?
I put them in the ground at about 90 degrees and I let them grow.
These are too valuable to eat. Sure.
What's the most fun thing you've ever carved?
Anything for raising canes is the most fun thing I've ever
Good answer.
done.
Yeah, amazing questions. Thank y'all for being out here. Really appreciate it. It's going to cause a lot of joy for this Halloween. We really appreciate the coverage.